broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everybody, welcome back to another awesome episode of The Messengers here on the CW and at AFTERBUZZ TV. Look at my lovely dancers over here. Get it, get it, get it. Yeah, yeah. It's wonderful. Okay. Best fly girls, ever. I'm so glad that you guys are here, back to Season 1, Episode 5, Eye in the Sky. Even though I first thought it said Lucy in the Sky, and I was like, drugs? But that's just me being weird. I am your host, Alexis Torres. You can find me all over the interwebs as atorres890, but I'm also not alone. I am here with the lovely Tauri J. Miller.
Hi, I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me at Tauri J. It's Taurijay.
And the beautiful Alison Dean.
Thanks, girl. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Alison Dean. There you go.
We have a lot to talk about today because holy smokes, there was just not nonstop action, but there was always something going on.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to jump into the main thing that really caught my eye was Erin and Ronnie. We got to see Ronnie back in the episode today, and
good old Joel did drop. He did hint at this last week. He was like, this will be an Erin episode. You did not lie to us, Joel. You didn't lie to us.
Which I'm kind of happy because even though Erin is usually around doing stuff, she's not really like the main focus. So I'm really glad that we got to see her and Ronnie be happy, but
for a split second.
And we got to see that, when Amy was first born, he was already kind of protective, already buying baby-proof stuff for the house. The one thing I was seeing was like deadbolts. I'm like, I'm not used to many parents telling me that they're buying deadbolts for their children right away, but I mean, each parent is different. Right. And then it obviously, I was trying to figure out if the devil was the one, which we find out a little bit later, that he was the one that told Ronnie to go find them or where to find them. Is that how that happened?
That's what I was gleaning from it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, I love how Allison brought this up when we were talking about it a little bit earlier, that how creepy it was that the devil was telling the Red Riding Hood story to the children. Not the children, and it was just really creepy, but
I'd like to imagine like that's the only part of the story he'll tell. Like he's like, I'm gonna come and tell my part, and then someone else can take over after that. So then the wolf showed up.
I know, like how perfect was it that Amy just showed up when like the wolf was like, Red Riding Hood was like, oh, what big teeth you have. And it's like, yeah, because girl, you about to get kidnapped. Yep. But it was kind of creepy because it kind of reminded me of how not Vera lost her child, but it was pretty similar. Like she looked away for a split second, came back, and the kids are all scattering to go with their parents, and then Amy's just missing. But I thought,
Amy.
Did anybody else think that the devil took her? Because I did.
I didn't.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah?
Because you saw Ronnie outside of the library before.
I missed that completely. I must be, again, making pizza rolls.
Always
hey, girl.
I can't help it, guys.
You can't.
I mean, they're delicious.
Consistency is key. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
But yeah, I didn't see Ronnie outside there, so that kind of makes sense. But I definitely thought when I looked down and looked back up and Amy wasn't there, I was like, oh, the devil took her. That's what he meant.
Devil done stole my baby.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But no, because the next part, which we see that we finally see that Ronnie is very overprotective. I couldn't tell if it was like psycho overprotective or just new dad.
No,
overprotective.
Psycho.
Yes,
psycho.
It was a little over the top.
Yeah,
and you kind of understand it because being a police officer, and he kind of dives into it a little bit in that like you see all the horrors of the world, and you don't want your child to be a part of that.
So no feeling bad for our Ronnie, or just straight up you're a tool.
He should not be a police officer if he can't handle the fact that bad stuff is going to happen, just life.
Right.
Bad things happen. Right. It's unfortunate, but true. Mm-hmm. So definitely should not be a cop and definitely should not be a father because clearly he's too paranoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it's kind of in the same way that, like, a lot of doctors become hypochondriacs. I won't say a lot, but a certain number of doctors become hypochondriacs because you see so much disease and so many symptoms, and you know, like, their end results. And so I'm not in any way advocating this character.
That's not what I was getting from that.
I think that's the general idea that they wanted to come across, so that it wasn't just like one day he just snapped and it was crazy.
Yeah,
there was like
came
a reason
from work.
behind it.
Right.
No, because I mean, I have a few friends that are watching the show now after watching our after show, which I'm like, thanks, guys. But they were discussing since I had to rewatch the episode about how they're like, oh, we feel bad because Ronnie's just trying. I'm like, no, there's a line when you're like trying to be a good father and also trying to keep your family in a prison with surveillance cameras and deadbolts and other things. Like, you're kind of hitting that weird point there.
A
just like,
little too much there.
Yeah. But did anybody else feel like when... Okay, so before we get into that, so of course, Ronnie tries to take Amy to a pancake house, which I was like, really, just right out the gate, we're just like, oh, I just kidnapped people.
Celebration!
Let's celebrate. Now some pancakes, because it's your birthday. Also, it's Amy's birthday, if you guys didn't catch that. And her family tradition is they make chocolate chip pancakes in the day, they go to the library, and then they have cake at the very end of the day.
Because it's a carb fest.
Oh, yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. I love that already. But so, of course, she's kind of like, oh, I already had pancakes. You're crazy, Dad. You know, that kind of face.
I am on a diet, Dad.
I'm only on, angel... Wait. Sorry, that went a little too far. I was thinking of, like Tinkerbell okay. But,
she's with angels.
She's with angels, just not the drugs.
And they
Don't do
create
drugs, kids. But yeah, so with angels and candy, apparently, because Nadia's all about that candy.
Oh,
apparently... can't have pancakes 2 times in a row. That's a big no-no.
No.
So of course, she tries to make a run for it. I thought Amy was very smart when she did that. She was like, oh, he's distracted with a check. Go for it. Go. And sadly enough, she does get caught, and, the devil ends up helping Erin to catch up to Ronnie, but she realizes, halfway through the conversation, like, I know who you are.
Right at the end.
Yeah, and then he just...
Right at the end?
Yeah, after his, giant diatribe about his father and how,
I love that line. I actually have that. It's like, fathers can be so cruel. I was like, devil.
I see what you did there.
I see what you did there. And it was really... it was the first thing I was like, I'm just gonna...
a little wittiness there.
I thought it was really cool. I like how they usually take a lot of, not religious puns, but they kind of take little things and they throw it in there as fathers can be such, jerkwads.
It's clever.
Yeah, I really like that with the writing. But yeah, so we find out the devil's just here to watch the fireworks, where it looked like it was about to get kind of bad at one point. I am surprised that Ronnie is not even though he's a very overprotective father, he's also not an abusive father, which for some odd reason I thought he was going to hit Erin. That was the first thing I was like, oh, he's gonna punch Erin, and then Amy's gonna try to get out, and it's gonna be just a giant mess. That's what I was thinking.
I didn't feel that way, but I can understand why you could.
I don't know. I was thinking, oh, he's already a psychopath. Let him be violent at the same time.
Right.
That's where I was at.
Hints of
throwing wine bottles.
Right before the abusive phase, where he's like, I'm going to take my rage out on things, and then he crosses the line.
Yeah, and that's what I thought that was. I thought that this part where she was trying to convince her daughter to open the door, that he was just going to be like, shut up. And I don't know. It was weird.
Right.
But I like that Peter made it in time and used his awesome powers.
That was my favorite scene.
Oh,
it was good, yeah.
I think it was. I think that was my favorite scene. Just watching Peter
hold down the car.
Yeah. And all this what was that? Smoke?
Yeah, the smoke.
Yeah, from the car.
Yeah. All of it. It's like, go, Peter!
It was weird that I kind of wanted to see a little bit of pushback from the car, but at the same time, oh, Peter's just extremely strong, so it kind of makes
right.
He's okay. That makes sense. But I didn't. My dad was watching, and he's like, "Why is he holding the spoiler like that? It's a little weird."
Ripped right off.
Yeah, that's what
I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking. That I was just gonna. Oh gosh.
But it was really well put on there. That spoiler.
Oh yeah.
Very well attached.
Here's my question. So the devil's plan, because he's, with his chess pieces and all that stuff.
I think it's so weird.
His plan was to get Ronnie to go after Amy, to lure Erin to the restaurant in order to get her to call Peter so that Ronnie would kill Peter?
Oh, yeah. So, because remember he told our senator / horseman of war
that one was going to be eliminated.
Yeah.
Right.
But in my brain, I thought it was going
to be Erin.
I thought Erin was going to die. That was my my prediction for that. And then at the same time, I was like, no, Erin can't really die because she's the only healer, and in my brain, as games work, can't really kill off the healer.
You can't kill your paladin.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't do it. Sorry, that was really nerdy of me and Tauri.
As you wear a D&D shirt.
Shut up. But at the same time, you know, Peter has been going through so much, so he can't die next.
Nope.
Right.
So I was thinking if he didn't say that one of the messengers was going to die, I thought maybe he was thinking something that would technically kill, like, an emotion. So, like, I thought maybe, like, Amy
Right.
would have, not saying that she would have died, but she would have gotten injured again, and then Erin wouldn't be able to handle it. And she'd be like, no, I'm done. I quit. Where I can't have my daughter being in danger again. So that kind of thing.
I for sure, well, the way I saw it was, at least how they cut the scene, I thought Ronnie shot Peter for that split second. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But then,
I was convinced, and then I was like, okay, well, Erin will then heal Peter, so we're still good.
yeah,
Right.
but mine was, Raul gave Nadia a gun, and she was all upset about it. And I was like, oh, well, who else has a gun? Nadia. So Nadia shot him.
So wait, you really you knew it?
As soon as it went black, I was like, oh, crap, Peter's dead. And I was like, wait, Nadia has a gun.
Okay,
Right,
my
yeah.
brain,
Nadia did it.
My brain did not move 2 steps forward like that. No.
It's just
But when I saw her on the screen, I was like, hooray! I don't know. I was
but at
like,
the same time, I was like, crap, now Nadia knows, and this is going to be an issue.
you think?
Well, because I know that she was already asking Peter in the library about
Yeah.
all that stuff. I as soon as I was like, okay, wait, if she finds out they have power, she's going to find out Raul has the power to read thoughts. She says a lot of crap in her head about Raul. He's going to find out about it, and it's going to be weird.
Well, I thought like they kind of patched that up, I thought, in the end scene pretty good.
But she found out after, though.
She did. She found out. But it seemed like she accepted everything on like some
Right.
level.
Which
it
is
seemed
fine.
like she was like, but for certain, I think she's probably going to edit her. Well,
yeah.
I don't know if you can really edit your thoughts,
Well,
but
Kind of, but I mean, she'll probably just be like, get out of my head. And he'll
don't
be like,
think.
what?
Don't think. Yeah, I don't know.
Or something. But I thought she was going to be a teenager about it and be like, I need my privacy. How dare you read my thoughts?
She strikes me as more of like an adult teenager.
I mean, she's mature-ish.
Yeah.
I would say that, like, that moment where she found out that he reads minds, that kind of solidified their new bond, because having her since she has been saying, like, really crappy things, to see him go this far to try to make her happy despite knowing what she thinks of him, like, I think that was, like, that tipping point.
Yeah, and that's why at the same time, when Peter first told her about it, and she was like, yeah, and I can't remember, I think she said the Easter Bunny or something stupid like that, and I was just like, you're such a teenager, but at the same time, after that whole speech with Raul and Nadia, I was like, oh, she's totally gonna be different now, and maybe semi-understanding, but also be a bratty little teenager at times. But I liked that they patched things up. That was really awesome.
I have a question. Are we convinced that her mother is dead? Is her mother dead? Gabriella?
I thought they were just divorced.
It just doesn't make sense that the mother is totally like not in the picture at all.
I don't
Right.
remember what
Outside
happened to her.
of in Raul's hallucinations.
That was so crazy, by the way. Those hallucinations
great.
were awesome and so weird. I want to talk about Joshua's in a bit, but yeah.
Now that we're talking about this one, what'd you think about we got a hallucinogenic kiss at least?
I liked the fact that the opening scene of the episode is, of course, Raul and Joshua just, shooting back.
them back!
And I was sitting there going, this is going to turn out real bad. And so, because in my brain I was thinking, okay, most people who are pastors, preachers, whatever, they don't drink alcohol.
Right.
But because technically he's not doing that anymore, he's like, oh,
Time
my
to
life
live it up.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bottle.
I've already been chosen by God.
It doesn't matter if I mess up his temple. That's okay.
Right.
But at the same time, I was sitting there going, okay, buddy, you haven't had alcohol in a while, probably, especially not like this.
So keep going.
So in my brain, I was like, please stop. Please, you're going to hurt yourself. Just don't do it. And then, of course, Rose shows up and she's just like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm just trying to open up his channels. And I'm like, oh, God, he's going to pass out.
Yep. Done.
And I was like, well, there he goes. I literally wrote that. I'm like, there she blows. There it is. Like right there. And I was just sitting there going, this is going to be bad. And then he was like, oh, we're going on a field trip, when they finally try to figure out what they're doing. And he shows up in the middle of the desert. And I was like, no, don't let it be something weird. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then there's
Of course they were going to do it.
American who's like, hey, you don't have any high blood pressure or heart disease in your. I was like, no, this is a bad idea.
But I will say that character was
he's
so great.
I hope he comes back.
The combination of like sports references and like Native American things is just
weird.
so good.
It was pretty good.
Sometimes when you're trying to get to the spiritual realm, you gotta throw a Hail Mary. Best line in the show.
I was sitting there going, "You're my favorite. You should be in it more." But yeah, I love how I can't remember our coach. I wrote him in my notes as coach, but I don't remember his actual name. But I love that he was just kind of like, "Yeah, so I mean, this will help. Trust me." But and of course he's like, "Well, you can't go alone." And Raul's like, "Yeah, not today. I can't do that." And he's like, "You know better." And I'm like, "Raul, how many times have you done this? What have you been doing, clearing your channels and whatnot?"
I mean, it's how he got ready for his games. And
that sounds like really bad coaching in my brain. That sounds like a really terrible way to hey kids, I'm gonna make this weird concoction made from my people. Here, drink it, and you will do so much better.
Yeah, you'll get rid of all your stresses. You'll be able to work through all your issues. You'll be the most relaxed you've ever been.
Can you imagine parents being like, "Oh, you seem so clear. What happened?" Well, Coach gave me some weird juju juice, and it was awesome.
It was the peyote, Mom. That's all. Yeah. Right.
Peyote's paying up.
Yeah.
In my brain, I don't know. There you go. In my brain, even I don't know how many people are Entourage fans, but it reminded me of when they were doing shrooms in the desert and they were just like seeing some weird crap. In my brain, I was like, "Oh, they're shirtless. They're sitting back to back in the desert."
That was so okay.
And just
adorable. Yeah.
I was like just going through the emotional roller coaster of whatever's going on in their brains. So of course we get to see that Raul's kind of worried about starting a new relationship with Erin because of it was a weird. I couldn't really understand what was really eating him up inside. Besides the fact that's why I was like, is she dead? Is she alive? I'm confused.
I just feel like we would have already seen a phone call, like Nadia talking to her mother in some capacity, or just an email to her, like just some reference that there was still a
I thought
connection.
they got rid of her phone for some odd reason. Like, can't do it.
Nadia?
Yeah, I thought maybe Raul got rid of it because they could track him in some way.
No, because she was on it. Like when they were walking. Yeah, she was on it.
Oh, that's right. When her and Peter, after the weird, I saw you naked scene. I felt so bad for him in this episode. But
I felt so good for him in this episode. I was like, and 2 tickets to Magic Land.
Oh my God, I was sitting there every time. Again, not to bring out more references, it was just like Robot Chicken with the Disneyland dad thing. Like, that's what I thought of. If you don't know what that is, you should look it up. I'm not going to tell you it here. But yeah, it was just kind of like, hey kids, thanks for being cooped up and, dealing with our angel powers. Here's 2 tickets to Magic Land. Have fun, Magic Land. Yeah. Oh God, it was like, really, Dad? Really? Thanks. But I really liked the fact that seeing also Joshua finally finding out that he's just angry and he doesn't, and it was another thing of like a lot of people in religion tell you like you have to forgive. That's a main thing.
Right.
So of course dealing with all of this stress, he hasn't gotten over the fact that, oh yeah, my wife is apparently might be having my brother or my son. We don't really know yet.
Right.
Yuck.
Apparently Alison doesn't like it. But it was very interesting to see the symbolism of like, just stop crucifying her, move on.
Yeah.
So
did you guys feel kind of annoyed after he left the message for Charlotte saying, I forgive you, and then all of a sudden we see his dad erase the message.
Papa jerk.
What I was thinking was, why are you in the house? Are they like, is Charlotte and the dad living together?
Well, I mean, she is pregnant. She has no one to take care of her, so...
Ew, again.
I know.
Ew.
But that's the first thing I think of, is that that's technically, if it is his son...
You were thinking that too? I was no, that this is not okay.
Well, it's not okay.
I mean, yeah, of course it's not okay.
But that's what's happening, because she has literally no one to take care of her, and...
She is a woman. She does not need someone to take care of her.
That's not what she's thinking. She's thinking, I am a fragile thing.
Yeah.
My husband has left me, and I technically cheated on him, so...
I was not comfortable with that whole scene. I was like, this is... ew.
Yeah.
Ewy.
I mean, yeah.
I completely agree with you.
That
was one of 2 ew moments in the show. The other one was when we got confirmation that the senator is now officially going to likely become the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting that her storyline is still like
going.
they're keeping her in the mix.
I feel like she's not going to completely disappear, but we could talk about that. So obviously the devil and our I was gonna say war horseman, but yes, horseman of war is still, or horse lady of war, whatever, of war,
Equestrian of war.
There you go. Is still talking and trying to figure out what their giant plan is, which is trying to figure out how to deal with the messengers and also to still take over the world and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And blah 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 blah.
That thing.
Yeah.
That thing. The apocalypse. And so it was very interesting to see her, because in my brain I was thinking, okay, you were this timid person kind of, but also strong, and now you're a totally different person.
Yep.
Because I can't. Nice.
I mean, I mean, kind of, yeah. I equate it to when Rose woke up and she had the gift of understanding. I imagine that when the
seal is broken.
When the seal is broken, they kind of are flooded with that information as well.
Yeah, that's what I was trying. That was the question I wanted to ask. Was either A, was there already a horseman and it kind of just took over her body, or was it that all the information, just kind of like, glass shattering, this is happening, I know what I'm doing now. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was more for the
minute her eyes turned red, it was suddenly like, and in her body it all comes.
That's why I was confused, because I was like, okay, wait, is this the spirit of the horseman, or is this actual just like, I have become the horseman? Like, that's what it was. But now, obviously, I was like, okay, she still has her own little personality, just throwing it with extra little sprinkle of evil in there.
Mm-hmm. She grew a mustache and now she twirls.
Yeah, she twirls it.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, so sorry, we're like jumping around all over the place. I just really wanted to get the Erin Ronnie story out of the way. But we also have a new character we got introduced to this time, which
we did,
which was really interesting, because at first I didn't think that she had power. So we cut to after, I'm trying to remember what scene was after. Oh, I think it was after Joshua passed out. We cut to a scene of at a Chinese restaurant, I believe.
It's in Hong Kong.
Oh, okay, it's in Hong Kong. Yeah. Thank you. Where they're doing they have a gambling game.
Poker game. It looked like a poker game. Yeah.
I'm all over the place today.
It's fine.
Poker game that they're having, and we have a beautiful young lady sitting on one end of the table, and I can't remember what card she had before.
She
a
had
2.
A king and a 2, and then she swithed out.
She did like some crazy.
She sat there and she was like, in my hair, and look, 2 kings. And I just, in my brain, I was like, please don't go all in. You'll probably lose. That was my first instinct. I was like, this sounds like a bad idea. And she was just like, all in. And I was like, no. And then, of course, we found out he has 2 aces and she had 2 kings. So she automatically lost. And, I didn't understand where he was like, oh, you better pay up or get me a drink. And I was like,
he was being chauvinistic.
Yeah, he was being an arse.
Yes. So I was like, oh, you bastard. But I liked how she's like, I'm gonna go get more money, or put more money in my account, and her account was empty, and I was like, oh, the devil's there.
Yeah.
Did anybody else think that he was there, or was
No.
it just okay? That must have been just me then, because I was just like,
But that doesn't surprise me.
He was
that
there though.
He was?
no.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Where
see him
was he?
earlier.
He was the guy he was the cashier guy.
No, that's what I
that's
meant.
right. Oh,
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Oh.
No,
yes.
as soon as when he was doing that, and I heard his voice.
You thought
Oh,
he
yes.
would be there, and he was there.
Yeah,
Right,
Okay,
okay.
yes.
because it makes sense. Because why would they show us a new character and the devil's not there?
The devil is in the details.
No, because every single character.
nice.
Ooh, good one. Every single character we've had, the devil he stuck his sticky little fingers in it. So,
Sticky.
so I was sitting there going, wait, so he can just have he just has, that sucks. All of your money's gone. What do you do?
That's what I was thinking too, and it just led me to kind of think what her we don't know anything about
No,
this.
we just know that another scene
thing.
that we see of her is that there's a gentleman who is going on a flight from Hong Kong to wherever they're going. I didn't see,
Right.
and we get a glimpse of her in the X-ray, which I'm like, TSA, why are you not doing your job? Clearly, you should be looking at the screens, because so you see her wings, you see her, and then an old man comes out. I'm like, guys. Anybody, Bueller, somebody, she's right there. So of course,
Angel cosplay, of course.
apparently. But I
Yep.
like the fact that she's a shapeshifter. I really like that. I was hoping that one of them was going to get that, but they didn't. I really like that. That's her power.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
It's curious if that's really her shape, like
The lady is her
yes,
original shape.
or
Yeah, we don't even know what her original shape is.
Right.
She
Yeah.
could be anybody. I mean, I would hope that that's her original
I know
shape.
because that would just
'Cause that'd
really
be like my
sail
brain.
us
Right.
into confusion land, right?
Yeah, because technically the only person I know who can shapeshift is the devil, kind of.
Yeah.
So that's about it. But it's cool that maybe he has competition now. Someone who, I mean, not completely on his level, because no one's on the same level except for God at that point.
Yeah.
But I really like that she can also trick him to a point, kind of.
So I think it'll be really interesting in the next week's episodes to kind of determine whether or not she's one of the past messengers, potentially. Like the reference that shopping cart lady, what are we going to call her?
I've been calling
she
her
had a
homeless
name.
lady.
I forget her name.
I feel like we've upgraded her now to...
I was just going to call her librarian because she had a book in her hand.
or something. What was
Oh,
her
I don't know.
She had a real name. I don't remember.
Okay,
I don't remember.
anyhow.
Guys in the chat, somebody help us
Like,
out.
tell us,
please.
I do think that it was interesting when she all of a sudden appeared in front of Peter and said, "Look for the signs. And
I feel like
let the other messengers that have come before you help you," or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know how much powers the old messengers or past messengers have. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I'm assuming that they know more than our new messengers, but I don't know if they still. I wonder if they still have their powers. That's my.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I would assume it's okay.
It's okay.
I don't think that they do. I think that
Eliza.
Eliza, yes.
Okay.
God bless you all.
Thank you, Matt and Jay. You're awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they have their powers. Like I imagine that this is a game that the devil and God play a lot, and so they like unleash these powers upon people, and they have them go through the process. Because the devil mentioned that that the last ones they almost failed.
Yes.
Like almost all the seals were broken.
Yeah.
So like I assume after they thwarted the devil, they were relinquished of their power, or it was so long ago that they're dead. Like
Yeah.
I don't imagine.
I mean, because technically, if she's a past messenger, she's pretty old.
What if?
So, I mean, I didn't think about that until
Yeah.
right now that you said that. I'm like, oh, she's pretty old.
Do we know if they age though? Do we know really?
I'm going to assume yes.
yeah, they should.
They should. Because
Really?
then eventually they will, they will grow old. Well, it would suck if God was like, oh, okay, well, thank you for being my messenger. You're just going to be immortal forever. You can't grow old with the person you love. You can see your kids grow up, but you'll never change age. That would kind of suck, you know?
Watch the world die. Have fun.
Like, yeah, it would make sense to be like, okay, you could, I'm going to lift you of these powers, be happy, grow old, don't worry about anything else, I've got it. You know what I mean?
Though I just thought about that, like maybe after the end of their reign as a messenger, their memories are wiped. That's why she became a homeless person. Is that like everything that she had known from that time?
That also makes
was
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
taken away.
Oh, so wait, she could be a former
yes.
That's what my first thing was. I mean, why would she have a book of just stuff? I mean,
stuff.
I mean, it makes sense because maybe, or maybe not to play favoritism, but maybe because she was living in Dallas and that's his past messenger. She did forget, and then God was like, hey, we're back at it. We have new messengers. I need you to prep. Here are my list of messengers that are new. Stick with them and help them out. Especially Peter. He needs help. He's a young man.
Right. I like to imagine that it's a scene from like Rocky where God's like, "We need you to get back in the game," and she's like, "I told you I'm out. I ain't doing that no more." And it's like just one last time.
Oh my god. And then
I like it.
Next prediction. If she'll save one of them, I'm gonna assume it's Peter and Rambo.
Yeah.
And she'll save one of them. She'll get hurt in some way, either die, shot, whatever, and that's gonna be her last message, or not, last job as a messenger.
Her last
Right.
hurrah.
Yeah. And then she can finally hang out with the big guy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
She can go home.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. 'cause
It's
I mean,
interesting that only Peter has seen her now twice.
But I feel like because of the fact that he's the youngest angel out of all of them, I feel like he kind of needs a little bit more guidance.
And that's where she comes in?
Yeah.
Because I feel
That
like
could
he loves this mini family that he has, but at the same time, he doesn't really listen to them that
Right.
much, really. I mean, so having someone who's already a seasoned warrior, as I put it, it's a little bit easier to be like, oh, wow, you have done that before.
Right.
Okay, I can listen to you.
Yeah.
Instead of we're all experience this together, listen to me, I know what we're talking about. So
Yeah.
I appreciate her, and I really like the fact that she's cleaned up and looks real nice.
Yes.
And, not like some crazy little cat lady living in a dumpster. Sorry. But anyway, so... after Joshua finally, we had a huge roundabout from that, but after Joshua finally clears his head, we find out that there is I can't remember his name, but he deals with
Garrett
finances.
Felchman.
There you go.
Or
And
Fletcham.
And he
Can't
is
read my own
just.
writing.
It's okay. I have chicken scratch.
Close-
That's why I bring
close
my
enough.
computer.
Yay.
But apparently he is a very hated man, and apparently he just lost a ton of money. So after Joshua has this vision, both Rose, Vera, Raul and Joshua show up to this man's building, and of course Vera's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do my spirit walk and go check out what's happening because there's too much
On the
people."
52nd floor.
Yeah.
Did anybody else go, "Wait a minute, how are you able to use the elevator?" That was the question I wrote down because I'm like, you can't touch anything. So how you pressing buttons? How you getting up there?
Just imagining that she was waiting for it to go up there, so she like phases into it and it's just like somebody's got to go.
Yeah, but she has not enough time for that.
Yeah, that was the other thing is that like, again, like a video game, she has like a cooldown, like a time limit for
I'm gonna
her
assume
power.
this is what Joel would have told us had we asked while he was here. He would have just said, "It's television, and you just have
Yep.
to accept
But
it."
in my brain, I
Yes.
was just like, "But you couldn't touch
Yeah.
it." Go.
Yep.
But whatever.
I
But-
accepted it. When the elevator door opened, though, and we didn't see her, the part of me thought her body was in the elevator.
Oh my gosh! I didn't even think about
so
that. Can you
great.
imagine? Why is there a passed out woman in the elevator?
I mean, it would have made a good distraction.
It would have, and everybody would have been like, "Oh my god!" and like helped her and brought her. But the bad thing is, she wouldn't have known where her body was.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where it got scary. So it
Yeah.
made sense for her to be in the car.
And then immediately when they cut to the car, I was like, "Oh!" And then I was like, "Wow, she really needs to hurry the heck up."
Yeah, like
Yeah.
seriously. And so of course she comes in and she's just, of course we find out that he's a complete jerk, which made sense.
That loses all of his money.
Yeah. Well, no, apparently, yeah, he was just working on some stuff, and then all of a sudden, there's so many zeros, it like my jaw dropped.
How much money was that? I didn't count.
250 billion?
I believe so. Yeah.
Billion or million? One
Gone.
of those.
Gone. And how many seconds was that? Like five.
Five.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just, I just saw it dwindling. I was like, huh.
Yeah. I'm coming home. Like you
Coming home. Take me.
Yeah.
But yeah, and of course he's freaking out. So that was my first reaction of,
He's not the
he's not the
horseman.
horseman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course that weird cockroach thing came up, and I was like, what is happening with these cockroaches? And I also want to know if anybody actually knows if that's a thing.
Like if
Like a
there's
virus
an
thing?
actual,
No. I know that pestilence means
it's like viruses,
viruses and stuff like that.
plagues and things.
Yeah, but
So
when,
it could be a computer virus.
Yeah.
well, it is a computer virus. I just didn't know. I didn't understand. Actually, it made sense why they were hackers because they use viruses to take what they need. It makes
Yeah.
sense. But at the same time, I was trying to figure out if it was actually true because Peter was holding that book of our horseman with the
Yep.
with the cockroach
Yes.
shield, and I was like, is the cockroach a symbol for that
pestilence?
for pestilence?
I wouldn't imagine like in classic works. I would imagine it would be more like locust because that was a bigger
That's what I was
plague
thinking. I
back
thought it was
then.
going to be locust, and then I saw that weird animated cockroach, and I was like, ah! I thought it was
It
on
didn't
my
look
computer.
like a cockroach to me.
It looked weird, right?
It looked like a
bee-
strange beetle bug.
I thought it was a beetle.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
weird. I was like,
And then when Rose said cockroach, I was like, oh, okay, another thing I have to accept. Okay.
That's what roaches look like in Texas, guys.
apparently
Ew.
so. Well, I mean, in the Philippines they fly, so it's just
Oh,
it's
no,
just the
no.
worst.
That's not going to work for me.
Yeah,
No.
but like I was thinking, I was like, okay, technically cockroaches they live forever, so I guess that kind of makes sense. But
Right.
in my brain, I was thinking it was going to be a locust or a beetle, like back in
Well,
ancient Egypt kind of stuff.
But from like a modern standpoint, like if I were writing this episode,
all right, Tauri, tell us.
I would use a cockroach because it's something that we as an audience can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were like, yes, we are plagued by cockroaches. Whereas like if it was like, all right, guys, someone just saw a locust, and it's like, what
we would
is
have been like,
that?
huh?
Yeah, that
Right.
makes
Is
okay.
it-
So that makes more sense with. Sorry, guys, I'll fix my ponytail.
It's a
but, like,
modern
yeah.
day locust.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense because it's something that people would definitely identify with, and also at the same time, it's just as equally gross as a locust or a beetle.
Right.
So,
Right.
because I think a lot of people look at it and be like, is that a cricket? What is
Right.
that?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, grasshopper?
Grasshopper!
Jiminy Cricket?
And
Turn evil.
interestingly,
Turn rogue.
we looked up what Abaddon,
Abaddon, yeah.
Yes,
Abaddon,
please.
what it means,
Yes.
and it has a correlation to locusts.
Yes, it was an
Which I thought was very
angel.
interesting. Yeah, which I was like, do you want to explain it so that? Oh, no, not explain
Sorry,
it.
explain it.
Okay.
It's in my phone.
Okay, well then we'll cut more to that. But anyway, I did like the fact that they were throwing the symbolism a lot lately with the animated cockroach, with the the pest control
Yeah.
thing. As soon as I was like, oh, pestilence, oh, pest, nah, so I was like, I'm not gonna do that. It was just my brain being weird.
Did it.
I know, my brain. And then of course we have our hackers who I love the fact that they did that modern kind of thing where it's like, oh, we give you viruses through your computer.
Oh,
technology.
not good.
All right,
Yep.
I got the thing.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Abaddon, New Testament
nice.
book of Revelation. An angel called Abaddon is described as the king of an army of locusts. His name is first transcribed in Greek, Revelations 9:11. Whose name
9/11.
in Hebrew is Abaddon, and then translated in Greek, which means destroyer.
Destroyer.
Thank you, Tari.
That was very.
If we could like
5 stars.
dim the lights and then be like, yeah, NPR with Tari. But
A flashlight under your face or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
That would be
goodness.
good.
It's like World of Worlds, but
like it.
with Tari.
I like it.
But yeah, so I thought it was cool, and how they connected it to the character that we saw, whose name we do not have, the seventh angel at the beginning, where we see her money get drained, and then we see it in
Yeah. It was very smart.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it wasn't as easy as like that one guy being the angel or the war.
Yeah,
not
no.
war, the
I
policeman.
feel like it would have been, it would have been way too easy, and I felt like it would have been like, oh, great, we've got another guy in like business of some sort. Because I mean,
Right.
that's why I kind of like the fact that it's this hacker site that does it, because I'm hoping it's a teenager,
Yes.
Oh.
and he's just like, I want to rid the world of big guys with all this money. I want them to give it to like kind of like a Robin Hood thing, but he's also doing it for his own like terribleness, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I don't know. I just think it'd be really funny to see some bratty teenager do it.
I agree.
Okay.
And maybe
That'll be interesting.
And then maybe Peter and Nadia could kind of
Relate
bring
to
him.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of.
Take him to Magic Land.
There you go. Take him to Magic Land, see the error of his ways, fix it all, wrap it up in a bow.
Yeah.
Good.
And-
Nothing like a roller coaster to just fix everything. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I worked for Six Flags. It doesn't work like that. Not to throw shade.
How did you feel about Vera returning to her body in those fleeting moments that she had left?
I'm trying to figure
Yeah.
out I'm assuming that she dies if she doesn't make it to her body. Or is that what we're all assuming, or no?
It
I would
seems,
imagine,
yeah.
Like she was gasping for air. That was really cool how she literally just threw herself out the window.
I did
Yeah.
agree with you on that.
So awesome.
I thought it was very impressive, though, that she threw herself out the window and still managed to get back into her. Like, it was the perfect trajectory, obviously,
Yes.
Well,
to
maybe she
land
thought-
into her body in the car.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because if, let's say, she was trying to get a quick getaway for some reason, not because of the fact that she has a time limit, but maybe just because someone might find her or the devil might be there and might see her.
Yeah.
She could literally just run out the window and dive right back
it was
into the
very
car.
efficient, I have to say.
I really liked that. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know if that was what she was actually going for, and it was just, like, convenient, but, like, I liked that.
Yeah.
I think
They
she
will.
knew, she could sense that time was...
Oh, yeah, because you could see her face kind of like, oh, my God. And I liked how even though you couldn't see it because her hair was in the way, you could see her body going pale. And I was like, whoa, she's dying. Hurry up, Vera. Get with it.
It's only episode 5, Vera!
No, let's not die.
All right. I like that they're exploring the weaknesses in these powers.
Yes.
At the end, we get Erin bleeding from the nose, and I think that
Yes, that's.
Yeah.
I also wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about 2 things before we get into that. One about no, it's okay. I'm sorry.
Just gonna leave next.
No, I definitely wanted to talk about how did you guys feel about Peter just spilling everything to Nadia? Do you think it was correct, or do you think he should have like held back because it was like, oh, if you guys are all angels, what's his power? Oh, he reads minds. I'm no cake. I was like, thanks, Peter. Just tell her everything. Like, jeez.
Right.
I was okay with it in a way,
Yeah.
just because she's in the mix,
No, it makes
She's
sense.
there.
She
Yeah.
needs to know.
and
Yeah.
she's being helpful. And so I think
I mean, she did just almost kill a man. Well, she did kill a man, and then Erin brought him
Right.
back.
she killed and saved a man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you want Ronnie to die though? I don't want. I didn't want him
I
to
didn't
die.
want him to die, but I was.
I wanted him to be hurt.
I just want you to bleed.
And he was
exactly.
he was
Do you
momentarily
bleed?
hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't want him to die. Although he's gonna seemingly come back in the mix
It
now.
makes sense, and and then that's where my Raul Ronnie showdown's gonna happen. It's gonna be great.
Okay.
Battle of the R's.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I watch a lot of shows where people are being lied to protect them.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I get tired of that trope, and so I'm glad that they're just like, hey, it's all it's in the open. You can protect yourself now that you know what's going on. You can't be an instrument of the devil if you're in on our ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also agree. I feel like I was kind of half and half. I was kind of like, Peter, come on now. Let Raul tell her about his power. It's just not, you can't just be sitting there eating cake and just spilling the beans and stuff. Like, come on now.
I think it's because he likes her too.
No, of course. I'm trust me, I'm very happy that she knows, because I feel like if she gets caught up in anything, she's screwed. So I'm really glad that she knows, but at the same time I was like, Peter, come on, buddy. Throw me a bone. Stop. Relax. But
he wants to woo her.
No, and I'm
with the truth.
I ship it.
Yeah.
I ship it hard. Like, I grab the champagne, I hit it on the boat, it's out. It's good to go. And then also about, do you guys think that Erin's ever going to hit a point where she heals she's going to heal so many people that she could actually eventually die because of it, because of the nosebleed, or maybe that's just a weakness that she has, or how to control it?
Well, I think that the way it works, and I don't have any way of confirming this, but that every time that she heals someone, she is essentially putting a piece of her life into them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
She'll just drain away if she keeps healing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's a chance that could happen.
Yeah, because I think it would. The reason I was thinking the same thing was because then it will make up for better story at the end of the season, that she could still heal, but she will do that last
Heal?
hurrah. Yeah.
Right.
And then be gone?
And then be gone.
I would hope that the way it works is she just can't do it all the time.
I feel like with the things that they're involved in, she's gonna have to.
She's gonna have one last hurrah at some point.
Yeah.
And she won't know when that's going to be.
And I feel like, not to get too far into predictions, that Amy might save her. Because she's a part of her. She's her daughter, blood-wise.
Right.
And she was hit, technically, in the car. I mean, I don't know if she actually got anything, but I feel like Amy's tears, like Tangled style, could actually help her in some shape or form.
Okay.
Right.
That's just me, though.
That'd be fantastic.
That's just, throwing. Because I feel like her daughter is such a big part of the group. I feel like she has to throw in something in there.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind seeing Amy save her mother.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting.
I don't know. I highly doubt it, but that's a dream.
Okay.
It's a weird want that I want. And of course, how do we feel about our hacker group?
How do we feel?
Like, do you feel like this is going to be like a group of like we were talking about, like a bunch of teenagers that they just want money, or like you actually think that they actually have like a higher cause of just bringing the country down?
They give all the money back to Robin Hood, like Robin Hood style.
Yeah, and also, what do you think of the countdown? What do you think it is?
Oh, right. They have 36 hours to do something.
Should we get into predictions about it then?
Sure.
Yeah.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Ooh, Matt and Jay had a good one. What's Peter's weakness?
Boyhood angst.
Good one.
Also, weak wrists from restraint.
Break a check.
Okay.
But yeah, so what do we think of our there's two predictions, of course. What is our seventh angel? Is she ever going to meet up with them, or is she just going to be
flying
doing
into
her?
Texas?
Yeah. And then also about the countdown. What do we think? It could be anything, but
It could be so many things. I don't know.
that's what predictions are for.
Yeah.
Be creator.
all right.
36 hours till that other angel shows up. I don't know.
I highly doubt it.
I would assume that if they're already taking money from people and like conglomerates,
Yeah.
I think that they're essentially going to try to topple the American economy. So they'll probably try to reduce whatever the American GOP is to zero or something like that, which would essentially cripple us and hurt other countries. And so I think that would be something that.
And then the Secretary of Defense would come in.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a weird. Yeah, that's what I was
think
thinking.
that's good.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay, I back you on this.
Sweet.
It looks like we're all
Do it on
backing him.
Kickstarter.
I like it.
Nice. I think it's either he's going to be doing a Robin Hood thing where he's just going to be taking all the money, but he won't be giving it to the poor. He'll just be keeping it.
Right.
Oh, what are you going
I'm
to do with all? I
poor.
mean,
But you never know, because it doesn't seem like I don't see many hacker groups being like, I'm gonna be good. Yeah,
right.
like I'm gonna
true.
be good and take all this money and like give it out to people. I mean, we have anonymous and all that kind of stuff, that's going on and in real life and things like that. But at the same time, I just every time I hear that a hacker site is doing something shady, it's like, you're kind of doing it for you and your group,
right? And especially if your icon is a roach skull.
I mean, come on.
I don't think that you're up to much good.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, I agree with that too.
And so our seventh angel, do you think she's going to be a problem, or do you think she's going to be just crap before we get out of here?
I think that she is going to be an issue. They're going to have to convert her. I also have a theory that since there are only 4 horsemen and there are 7 seals, that one of the angels has to be turned to break a seal.
Whoa!
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whoa! I think we're gonna get some making out too by next episode, like legit,
with,
not hallucinogenic makeouts, like
I'm waiting
legit
for
ones.
I'm waiting for Erin to pass out by healing somebody, and then Raul has to oh god no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Kiss of life.
That'd be so boo if that's the way it happens.
Hey man, you never know. But anyway, we're also gonna say boo because we have to go.
Oh.
But thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate everything. Please go on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, our website, all of the great things, and hit thumbs up, 5 stars, 4 stars, all that good stuff. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. We also love hearing from you guys in the chat. And sorry, I just saw someone go, no, and it caught me by surprise.
Nice.
Please, everybody, follow our panel, starting over here, Tauri J.
Hi, I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Tauri J. It's TaurijAY.
You can find me at the Alison Dean on Twitter and Instagram. You can also see me on Tuesdays for the Bloodline After Show and on my YouTube channel, Winos and Onesies.
You can also find Tauri on the... Oh no, is Arrow done already?
Arrow's done, but the Flash season finale is this week, so make sure to hit us up. It's going to be great.
Capital G.
All right, thanks, Tony. You can find me all over the social medias as atorres890 for Alexis Torres. You can also find me here at our sister network on Fridays, blackhollywoodlive.com, for our Geek Nerd Tech Show, where I talk video game news and other pop culture references. Again, thanks guys so much for hanging out. We will see you guys next Sunday.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.